Good morning, lesson 126. All that I give is given to myself. Sitting on a twig here. Today's idea, completely alien to the ego and the thinking of the world, is crucial to the thought reversal, which this course will bring about. If you believed this statement, there would be no problem in complete forgiveness, certainty of goal, and sure direction. You would understand the means by which salvation comes to you and would not hesitate to use it now. Let us consider what you do believe in place of this idea. It seems to you that other people are apart from you and able to behave in ways which have no bearing on your thoughts, nor theirs on yours. Therefore, your attitudes have no effect on them, and their appeals for help are not in any way related to your own. You further think that they can sin without affecting your perception of yourself, while you can judge their sin and yet remain apart from condemnation and at peace. When you forgive a sin, there is no gain to you directly. You give charity to one unworthy, merely to point out that you are better, on a higher plane than he whom you forgive. He has not earned your charitable tolerance, which you bestow on one unworthy of the gift, because his sins have lowered him beneath a true equality with you. He has no claim on your forgiveness. It holds out a gift to him, but hardly to yourself. Thus is forgiveness basically unsound, a charitable whim, benevolent yet undeserved, a gift bestowed at times, at other times withheld. Unmerited withholding it is just, nor is it fair that you should suffer when it is withheld. The sin which you forgive is not your own. Someone apart from you committed it, and if you then are gracious unto him by giving him what he does not deserve, your gift is no more yours than was his sin. If this be true, thank you. If this be true, forgiveness has no grounds on which to rest dependably and sure. It is an eccentricity in which you sometimes choose to give indulgently an undeserved reprieve. Yet it remains your right to let the sinner not escape the justified repayment for his sin. Think you the Lord of heaven would allow the world's salvation to depend on this? Would not his care for you be small indeed if your salvation rested on a whim? You do not understand forgiveness. As you see it, it is but a check upon overt attack, without requiring correction in your own mind. It cannot give you peace as you perceive it. It is not a means for your release from what you see in someone other than yourself. It has no power to restore your unity with him to your awareness. It is not what God intended it to be for you. Not having given him the gift he asks of you, you cannot recognize his gifts and think he has not given them to you. Yet would he ask you for a gift unless it was for you? Could he be satisfied with empty gestures, and evaluate such petty gifts as worthy of his Son? Salvation is a better gift than this, and true forgiveness, as the means by which it is attained, must heal the mind that gives, for giving is receiving. What remains unreceived has not been forgiven. But what has been given must have been received. Today we try to understand the truth that giver and receiver are the same. Today we try to understand the truth that giver and receiver are the same. You will need help to make this meaningful, and I'll go into the help bit later. You will need help to make this meaningful because it is so alien to the thoughts to which you are accustomed. But the help you need is there. Give him your faith today and ask him that he share your practicing in truth today. And if you only catch a tiny glimpse of release which lies in the idea we practice for today, this is a day of glory for the world. Give 15 minutes twice today to the attempt to understand today's idea. It is the thought by which forgiveness takes its proper place in your priorities. It is the thought that will release your mind from every bar to what forgiveness means and let you realize its worth to you. In silence, close your eyes upon the world which does not understand forgiveness and seek sanctuary in the quiet place where thoughts are changed and false beliefs laid by. Repeat today's idea and ask for help in understanding what it really means. Be willing to be taught. Be glad to hear the voice of truth and healing speak to you, and you will understand the words he speaks and recognize he speaks your words to you. As often as you can, remind yourself you have a goal today, an aim which makes this day of special value to yourself and all your brothers. Do not let your mind forget this goal for long, but tell yourself, all that I give is given to myself. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me now, and I will trust in him. Then spend a quiet moment opening your mind to his correction and his love. And what you hear of him, you will believe, for what he gives will be received by you. So you need help today. It says, today we try to understand the truth that the giver and the receiver are the same. You will need help to make this meaningful because it is so alien to the thoughts to which you are accustomed. Giver and receiver are the same. I'm offering forgiveness to myself, no matter who seems to be doing something out there, what they seem to be doing to me or others or whatever. The central lesson this course attempts to teach us that there is no world. Right now, if you want to look at that, if you've had an experience of that, then you know what I'm talking about. Carry on. If you haven't had an experience of that yet, through the use of this workbook or any other kind of meditative practice, look at the world perhaps, and this is all taken on faith until you actually do have an experience, but look at the world perhaps as an idea of a virtual reality, okay, where you're the central figure. Everyone and everything you see is a reflection of your own thoughts. I'm the character in my game, in my dream, in my adventure here. Everyone else is reflecting back to me, firstly, the idea that I think that I'm separate from them, but secondly, they're reflecting back to me, and more importantly, they're reflecting back to me in this particular modality, my own thinking about them. Okay, I project my thoughts out into the world. They land on someone or something who picks up those thoughts and plays that part for me and presents it back to me. I am manifesting my reality here, every single bit of it. There's not other people with their own individual realities. It's one mind waking up. I'm the dreamer of my dream. And learning to remember that throughout the day is one of the tricky things, which is why we have 365 lessons of mind training. So whatever goes on out there in the world, if it disturbs my peace of mind, okay, I need to be able to take responsibility for it as the dreamer of my dream, as the orchestrator of my particular adventure and scenario, and forgive myself for the part that I've asked that person to play. Okay, I'm one with everything. This is the bottom line. Okay, oneness. We are pursuing an experience of oneness, of unity consciousness. I am one with everything. There's no one or anyone out there that's separate from me. As above in eternity where all is one, so on earth all is still one. It just seems to appear to the body's eyes and the body's thinking that I'm not one. I'm separate from others that are moving around doing their own shit. Okay? It's not true. It's like I'm caught up in this vast video game that is projected from the mind and given its own meaning in the big sense and in the individual sense as I break it up into little bits and pieces and give everyone an ego. And it's really my own ego. Okay, so I'm projecting out into the world what it is I think everyone and everything should or shouldn't be doing and judging them accordingly, given from my own judgmental thought system, failing to realize that, until you've had an experience, that is, failing to realize that I have no clue what the meaning of life is. Well, I can't even judge anything. Somebody's starting a war over there and somebody's helping the poor over there. Which one is different? They're not different. It's all an illusion. Whether it seems to be good or bad, that's only a meaning I've given it. But in the realization, I don't know the meaning of life. I don't know the meaning of the world. I don't know what the fuck, why am I even here? What is the purpose of my life? To sit here and judge everything? If I look at a colony of ants from high up, and I'm looking down and these ones seem to be doing something and those ones seem to be doing something, am I going to make up a story about what I think they're doing or what they're saying to each other or communicating, however ants communicate? What's the point? I have no way of knowing whether my thoughts about it are actually accurate. They seem to be gathering food. They seem to be caring for their young. They seem to be doing... What else goes on there? I mean, the basics, obviously the basics, but what else is going on that allows that communicative thing to flow and everyone to cooperate in a way that benefits the whole? So the idea then that everything I give is given to myself. You have to think of the broad picture. I think of the whole. When I see myself as one with everything, whatever I'm doing is benefiting the whole. Okay, when I see myself as separate from everyone and everything, then what I'm doing specifically and fundamentally to benefit what I see as my own individual self, which is always going to be the illusion, always going to be the lie. So then learning, I guess, not to judge what I think I see and learning to let go of my judgments and grievances about things through an action of being willing to accept God's forgiveness for myself, that I can extend it to my thoughts about others and release others from the prison that I'm attempting to put them into to verify myself. It's like, that's giving to me. Not me as in Dave, not me as in this avatar, but me as in mind connected, waking up, raising the vibration of consciousness on the planet in this process that we are calling the Great Awakening. So that I can transcend the physical dimension, experience nirvana, and move on in the journey of the soul, rather than going into the bardo, being assessed as what is it, and then coming back to do it again. You've been weighed in the balance and found wanting, Helen was told. So that idea then of everything I give is given to myself, man, you have to have an experience. It's like in the prayer of the heart for the healing of the mind. It's like, Father, I want an experience. I want to know that I'm one with everyone and everything. I want to know what that is. Remind me what that is. Show me what that is. I want to experience myself as whole. Right? Whatever that is to you. It's not about the words you use. It's about where it comes from in your heart. I really want this. I see what's on offer out there in the world, and no thank you. The world holds nothing that I want. Right, now, that's going to be difficult for many reasons. For many people I come across and say, what about my kids? That's usually the first response. Are my kids just a reflection of my own thinking? Yes. My parents? Yes. Everyone and everything. It's like everyone and everything is just simply a figure in my dream. Oh, but I saw my kids born in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course you did. The dream is complete. It's whole. It's perfect. As above, so below. But what it represents in denial is also perfect, until I flip it over and use it for unity. Right? Our children are not our children. They're other souls coming in to have the experience that they need to have to bring about the corrective mechanism in their own association so that they can continue on in the journey of their soul as well, and help in doing so to collapse the time of suffering, pain, and death for everyone, and bring about an end to this domain, this third dimensional domain, which is now actually closed. It has been for just over 2,000 years since the resurrection. But we're dealing with a backlog, which could take millions and millions of years to clear up. All right, so everyone's playing their part, and I'm playing my part by accepting atonement for myself, just as you, who I know it sounds contradictory, that there's a you out there, doing your part as well, but there isn't in my dream. But in your own dream, if you can hear this, it's a paradox. You don't escape the paradox without the miracle. The paradox is there's only one, and but there seems to be many. Don't try to work it out, you'll go crazy. Have the experience and free your mind. Peace.